Welcome. Cell is the basic unit of life, and based upon its structural organization, it is divided into two parts. One is the prokaryotic cell and the other is the eukaryotic cell. But the unique feature of the eukaryotic cell is that the protein filaments which are present inside the cells have the unique ability to impart to the eukaryotic cell the ability to change its shape. The change in shape is attributed to three types of protein filaments which are present within the cell. This is the microtubule, second the microfilament, and third the intermediate filament. The microtubule possesses a number of physical unique properties that allows it to participate in a number of functions. One of the most important functions of microtubule is to serve as an scaffold formation. When the scaffold is provided, the microtubule is able to give the shape to the cell, and this is what contributes to the various shapes of the eukaryotic cells. Microtubule formation. Microtubules are formed from molecules of tubulin, each of which is a heterodimer consisting of two closely related and linked polypeptide called alpha tubulin and beta tubulin. The tubulin subunits are arranged in a cylindrical tube measuring 25 nanometers in diameter. Now, as a consequence of the microtubule formation, the microtubule contributes to two basic types of forces which is important for the movement of the chromosome. First is the pushing force and the second is the pulling force. The microtubule is made out of tubulin that consists of two basic units, which is the alpha tubulin and the beta tubulin. The alpha tubulin and the beta tubulin arranged in an alternate form to form a longitudinal protofilament. In a microtubule, there are not only longitudinal interactions, but there are also lateral interactions, which is responsible for tubular formation. The longitudinal contact between the ends of an adjacent subunit link them from head to tail to form a protofilament. These are arranged in alternate alpha beta so forth forms. All the protofilament in the microtubule have the same orientation. One end is linked by alpha tubulin, whereas the other end is linked by the beta tubulin. Virtually every microtubule in the cell is made up of 13 longitudinally arranged protofilaments, but apart from this 13 longitudinally arranged protofilaments which forms a structure called as singlets, we have another structure called as the doublet and the third structure called as the triplet. The doublet contributes to the formation of cilia and flagella, and the triplet contributes to the formation of basal bodies and the centrioles. The longitudinally arranged protofilament which forms the wall of the closed microtubule first of all needs to arrange itself. This arrangement is attributed solely to the polar nature of the alpha tubulin and the beta tubulin. When the alpha tubulin and the beta tubulin attach to each other to form the dimer, this is solely attributed to the GTP molecule which is present upon the beta tubulin. This GTP gets hydrolyzed to GDP, thereby giving energy for the joining of the alpha tubulin and the beta tubulin. Similarly, more tubulin dimers would come and attach each other to form an elongated protofilament. This protofilament will then arrange laterally to form the walls of the microtubule. The microtubules are not found helter-skelter in the cell, but instead they are found in specific arrangements for a specific function. The MTOC, which stands for Microtubule Organizing Center, it has a specific task to perform and a specific work to do. This is the point from which the polymerization or the assembly of the microtubule begins. The microtubule plays a very important role in maintaining the shape of the cell. For example, the microtubules which are present in the RBC contributes to the constant changing shape of the RBC when it travels through the capillaries or through the other blood vessels. Similarly, microtubule also contributes to the formation of axons and dendrites which are present in the nervous system. During cell differentiation, the microtubule has a very important role to play in the development of the cell. Let us take an example of spermatids. The spermatids formed during the process of spermatogenesis or spermiogenesis are usually elongated. Thus, to cover the entire length of the nucleus, the microtubule needs to arrange themselves in a double helical manner so that they can cover the entire length of the nucleus. Occurrence of microtubule. In the cytoplasm of animals and plant cells, microtubule occurs at the following 7 sites: cilia and flagella, centriole and basal bodies, nerve processes, mitotic apparatus, cortex of meristematic plant cells, selected structures in protozoa such as exostyle and parasitic flagellates, and the formation of lens and spermatogenesis of certain insects. So, friends, having completed microtubules, in microtubules we will move into cilia. So, what is cilia? Cilia are tiny hair like appendages which have a diameter of 0.25 micrometers, and they are found on the surfaces of the animal cells, lower plant cells, and some of the protozoans. The cilia helps actually in the propagation of a cell in a liquid medium, or it allows the movement of the fluid over the cell. Each cilium moves with a whip like motion, a forward active stroke in which the cilium is fully extended and beating against the surrounding liquid is followed by the recovery phase, in which the cilium returns to its original position with an unrolling movement that minimizes the viscous drag. The movement of a cilium or a flagellum is produced by the bending of the core, which is called as the axoneme. The movement of the cilia is chiefly attributed to a specialized structure of a bundle of microtubules denoted as axoneme. This axoneme will help in the formation of a beautiful circular structure which has a pattern of 9+2. This means that the 9 microtubules are arranged upon the periphery in the form of doublet, and a pair of single microtubules are present at the center. In the diagram which you can see over here is you have a 9+0 arrangement which gradually transits from the first number step to 9 number step, from 9+0 arrangement to the 9+2 arrangement. Over here in ABC you have the triplet protofilament which converts gradually into the doublet protofilament in the step number 9. This 9+2 arrangement array is characteristics of almost all cilia and eukaryotic flagella, from those of protozoa to those in humans. The microtubule extend continuously for the length of the axoneme, which is usually about 10 micrometers long, but may be as long as 200 micrometers in certain cells. The microtubule, which forms the bundle of the axoneme, is said to be associated with numerous number of proteins, and these proteins are found to be at regular intervals along the length of the microtubule, which is the part of the axoneme. It is said that the function of this protein helps in the movement of the microtubule or helps in the sliding movement of the microtubule with another. The most important proteins which are the part of the axoneme is the dynein arm. What is the function of this dynein protein? The dynein protein helps in the movement of the 2 adjacent microtubules so that they can move back and forth. Now, the classic example of the dysfunctioning of the dynein protein is the disease called bronchiolitis. In this disease, the dilation of the bronchiole occurs, and the cilia, which is largely present in the lungs, their movement stops. So, why does this movement have to stop? This is because the axoneme present in the cilia completely lacks dynein, and due to the lack of dynein, the microtubules are not able to slide over each other, and thus the ciliary movement in the lung is affected. Like the cytoplasmic dynein, the ciliary dynein or the axonemal dynein has a motor domain which hydrolyzes the ATP to move along a microtubule towards its minus end, and a tail region that carries a cargo, which in this case is an adjacent microtubule. The ciliary dynein is considerably larger than the cytoplasmic dynein, both in size of its heavy chain as well as in the number of the polypeptide chains. During the formation or regeneration of a cilium, each doublet microtubule of the axoneme grows from 2 of the microtubule in the triplet to those of 9-fold symmetries of the basal bodies in the microtubules. Friends, now having completed microtubules amongst the 3 cytoskeleton, let us move on to microfilaments, or also known as actin filaments. The microfilaments or the actin filaments are chiefly found in the skeletal muscle cells and they constitute up to 5% of the total cellular protein mass. Thus, to perform any sort of in vitro experiment, the obtaining of actin is quite easy, as it has to be extracted from the skeletal muscle cells. Actin filament appears in electron micrograph as thread of about 8 nanometer width. They consist of a tight helix of uniformly oriented actin molecules. Like a microtubule, an actin filament is a polar structure with two structurally different ends, a relatively inert and a slow growing minus end and a fast growing plus end. As actin is a protein, it has to be encoded by a gene, and thus there are several isoforms of this actin protein. There are absolutely 6 isoforms of this protein, which are classified into 3 main classes, which is the alpha, beta and the gamma. All these 3 are separate because all the 3 of the proteins have different isoelectric points. The alpha is chiefly found in the muscular cells, whereas the beta and the gamma are found in the non-muscular cells, which is chiefly the epithelial cells. Microfilament that function in cellular motility contains the protein myosin in addition to actin. In muscle cells, thousands of actin filament are arranged parallel to one another, and the myosin molecule walks along the actin filament, thereby pulling the stack of actin filaments together and shortening the length of the cell. Localized contraction also drives amoeboid movement. Pseudopodia, false foot or cellular extensions extend and contract through the reversible assembly and contraction of actin subunits into the microfilament. Friends, finally coming to the third and final cytoskeleton, intermediate filaments. What you are seeing behind me in the green colored picture is that which is called the intermediate filaments. These intermediate filaments are extremely strong, durable and rough, which is present entirely across the cytoplasm, chiefly in those type of cells which are subjected to mechanical stress, for example, the epithelial tissues. So, friends, why is intermediate filament called so? This is because on an observance under a semi-electron microscope, they found that the diameter of the intermediate filament lied between that of microtubule, which is 25 nanometers, and between that of microfilament, which is quite larger than the same. The intermediate filament has a diameter of around 8 to 10 nanometers, which is lesser than that of microfilament. Friends, what we saw was an introduction to the intermediate filaments. Now moving on to what is the structure of the intermediate filaments, just like we saw in microtubules and in microfilaments. As you can see upon the screen, you are having a protein with an N terminal and a C terminal, and the middle space is called the core of the intermediate filament. This core of the intermediate filament consists of 4 alpha helic domain and 3 spacer region, and these 2 monomers, as in when the 2 same unit associate with each other, they form a dimer, and when these 2 separate dimers attach with each other, they form a tetramer. Next, moving on, these tetramers, number of these tetramers when they try and associate with each other, they together will form a unit length of a filament. Now, let us take this analogy to that of a bridge. Imagine a bridge being held by just one rope, or a number of ropes which are interwounded to each other, or a number of steel cables which are interwounded with each other. Which will give more strength, which will give more flexibility? The answer is that of steel, which is interwinded rather than one steel rod. So, now having learnt the structure of the intermediate filaments, we move on to the different classification of the intermediate filaments. These are the keratin filaments, the lamin filaments, the neurofilaments and the type 3 intermediate filaments. The lamins are found exclusively in the nucleus. The 3 lamins included are lamin A, lamin B and lamin C. Moving on to keratin. Keratin is a type of intermediate filament which is made up of protein, and it has many different isoforms. Its isoform are basically divided into 2 main categories. One is the hard and the other is the one which is found in the internal cavities. There are absolutely 10 types of keratin which are found in the harder section, which makes up the hair, the nails and the wool, whereas the 20 type of intermediate filaments are chiefly found in those type of cells which are found in the internal cavity and those in the epithelial cells, because these epithelial cells are always subjected to maximum stress, and the example where this keratin would be highly found on the internal segment would be inside the birth canal, and these are classified into two basic types. They are either called as acidic keratin or basic keratins. 4 proteins are classified under the type 3 intermediate filaments. One of them is peripherin. Peripherin is found in the peripheral nervous system and much more needs to be discovered about it. But however, unlike the keratin filament, the type 3 intermediate filament is completely different. Instead of the segregation which we saw in keratin, here there is a mixture of homo as well as hetero type 3 intermediate filaments. The most widely distributed of all the intermediate filament proteins is vimentin, which is typically expressed in leukocyte, blood vessels and some of the epithelial cells as well as the mesenchymal cells such as the fibroblasts. The other type 3 intermediate filament protein is much more limited in distribution, and this is the desmin filament, which is chiefly found in the sarcomeres of contracting muscles, and also another protein which helps in association of the glial cells, the neurons and the axons. Moving on to the next segment and the final one under intermediate filament is the neurofilament. The neurofilament forms the core of the axonal bundle, and it consists of 3 heteropolysaccharide proteins which are neurofilament L, neurofilament M and neurofilament H. The greater the interbinding between these heteropolysaccharides, the thicker would be the diameter and faster would be the nerve impulse conduction. Thus, indirectly or directly, the neurofilament affects the functioning of the conduction of the nerve impulse. Having now studied the alpha tubulin and the beta tubulin both together, which forms the dimer, now by introducing the drug by the name of vinblastine, the function of this vinblastine is to not allow the formation of spindle fibers. Now, under mitosis, if the spindle formation does not take place, the chromosomes which have aligned on the equatorial plate are not able to move to the poles, and thereby the cell is restricted in that particular phase. And if the cell continues to remain there in a longer period of time, then the cell would have to die. Lantrochilin. It is a natural toxin that is produced from the sea sponge, and the sea sponge called Lantrochiliana magnifica. It is capable of binding to the ATP binding cleft of the actin monomer and prevent its further polymerization into the filament. Coming to the final drug, Taxol. Taxol is a plant alkaloid and it is a chief chemotherapeutic reagent. The function of this chemotherapeutic reagent is to block the activity of spindle fibers. In the diagram which you can see is the blue color chromosomes. They are aligned at the equatorial plate, with the green color being shown by the spindle fibers, which are actually the microtubules, and the red colored diagram is that of the centriole. The main activity of the Taxol is to block the activities performed by the spindle fibers. That is, it counteracts the effect of GTP hydrolysis, and thereby what happens is the chromosome continues to remain at the equatorial plate and not able to segregate to the poles, and thus the cancer cell continues to die because the chromosome continues to remain over here. Friends, I began my first line with saying that cell is the basic unit of life, and the study of cell is called as cytology. And in today's lecture, we studied about cytoskeleton. In science, it is always said that you have to break the words, especially in biology. So, we will break cytoskeleton into two parts, cytos plus skeleton. Cyto means cell and skeleton means the framework. So, the cytoskeleton provides the architecture or the framework for which the entire cell is able to support itself. And to quickly revise the 3 subclassification of cytoskeleton, you have the microtubule, you have the microfilament and you have the intermediary filaments. I wish you all the best for all your future plans.